It may be required for its replacement. And this concludes my presentation.
Okay, thanks, Eric. Hi, name and address, please.
Mr. Schultz, because
Oh.
this is a,
It's retracted?
because it's redacted, we'll just need the relationship to the property.
Owner.
Relationship to the property.
Owner.
Owner. Okay.
So the property has been painted, so where they're saying there's
Speak a
missing,
little louder.
where they are saying there's missing and peeling paint, it has been addressed. And then in relation to the doors do have knobs on them.
But the door's framing is rotted, the doors are rotted. Yeah, it's not the door knob, it's the rotted doors.
I believe he just said they are missing knobs.
Okay, what about the air conditioning, glass, all that?
For the glass, I'll have to have somebody go out there and check it, and I was informed that the AC unit is working, so I'll have to verify.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I wish you'd have verified before you came here. This goes back 21 months, and I have dealt with the case for many, many months. So if you're not prepared, obviously the investigator shows that the property still is not in compliance, and obviously your testimony is you don't know if it is or not. Here we go. I order that for item C-264, case 22-24718, that the board certified an additional lien of $4,200. And remember, it is still not in compliance, and it's accumulating a potential $150 a day until such time as it is in compliance. Good day. I wish you well.
We have another one.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Item number C-249, property 2135 44th Street South, investigator Eric Hervella.
Okay. Eric?
Good afternoon. I am Eric Hervella, Codes Investigator for the City of St. Petersburg, testifying into reference item C-249, case 22-21485, regarding property located at 2135 44th Street South. I was sworn in at the start of this meeting. This property is a single-family structure and is currently vacant. The case began on October 21st and is a case began on October 21st, 2022, and is a codes follow-up case. After the evidentiary hearing, a copy of the Code Enforcement Board's order was sent to the owner by mail on 11/21/2023. Property was last re-inspected on 9/18/2024, and 7 out of 18 violations have been corrected since the case began. The remaining violations are: steps leading to the front door are separating from the wall. Walkway leading to front steps is in disrepair and also has vegetation growing over it. Both dwelling structures have missing chipping, peeling paint, as well as dirty, unkempt exterior walls. Exterior walls of main structure have areas of broken and or missing siding panels. Rear dwelling unit has multiple holes and cracks in the wall. As of 11/6/2023, exterior walls of main structure areas of broken, missing panels have been replaced. Rear dwelling unit still has multiple cracks in the walls. Tape on windows. Tape on windows on main area rear structure, expanding spray foam used to fill holes and seal window for the AC unit on rear structure, and tarp on roof of rear unit to cover possible roof damage. As of 11/6/2023, AC unit on rear structure is sealed properly and there is no longer expanding foam. Window sills on both structures have areas of damage or rotten wood. A permit may be required to replace or repair the windows. Rear gable vent of main structure is damaged and not properly sized, covered on the gable access. Steps and handrails of stairs leading to the second floor of the rear unit are damaged and or missing. Fascia on the soffit of the rear unit is in disrepair with holes and other damages. And this concludes the presentation.
All right, thanks, Eric.
When was that investigation completed? Because it's seeming like deja vu with the steps being said that they're coming away from the wall.
9/18/2024.
Could we just get your relationship with the
Owner.
Owner?
Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry, what? Well, I'm sorry, I didn't get what you said.
I was asking when was the inspection completed?
That was on 9/18/2024.
9/18. 9/18.
Thank you.
That help you?
Yes,
Okay.
because I see the steps are connected to the wall. So,
After 9/18.
yes,
What about all the rest?
I'm not quite sure.
All right, well, it's roof, all sorts of things that are on the list. Yeah, not certain. All right. I order that for item C-249, case number 22-23485, that the board certify an additional lien of $4,200. And that's because the case goes back to 2022.
What was it? 4,200.
You could do that.
Yeah, I'll take a second.
I don't know what you want sometimes.
I get out of here. Need my email or anything. I'm just gonna put it in the code. You don't need to drive and go.
Okay, only an hour off the pace. It's all Joe's fault because he wasn't here and he delayed the you know.
Usually my fault.
Like,
Yeah.
you open up CED and switch them out, sure.
I mean, you'd rather do this thing than break for lunch, right? And drag it on.
Of course, yeah, especially with consideration of,
I'm all for it too. I just didn't know you guys are the ones that have to work. I don't.
yeah, no,
I'll
I
bring a
mean,
protein bar with me just in case.
I never thought of that. It's a good idea. I'll bring Dunkin' Donuts. Great protein.
Just bring enough for everybody.
Yeah, okay, good. All right. Item number, oh, no, that's not gonna work. Hold on.
you want to take a break real quick?
No, it'll only take me a second.
So get out of it.
No, I mean, based on the circumstances. you can approve.
He wants to leave, what, he wants to leave 6, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't,
Okay, it's ready. All right, item number C1, John A. Bowman. Item number C2 has been deferred. Item number C3, Sherry A. Hudson, trustee. Item number C4, Michael Bedeau Jurgis and Janet Harmon Jurgis. Item number C5, James D. Kowalski. Item number C6 has been removed. Item number C7 has been deferred. Item number C8 has been deferred. Item number C9, Michael D. Neville. Item number C11, William Spett. Item number C12, Paul R. Johnson. Item number C13 has been removed. Item number C14, Ian Quimby. Item number C17, Ian J. Woods. Item number C18, Ian J. Woods. Item number C19, Claire M. Worsham Estate. Item number C20, Claire M. Worsham Estate. Item number C21 has been deferred. Item number C22, David G. Edwards. Item number C25, Mai Tai Kai. Item number C26, Nancy M. Ott. Item number C27, Kimberly E. Tetro. Item number C28, August Umlauf. Item number C29, Jamie Lee Washington. Item number C30 has been closed. Number C31, Nazar Ednei Bowie. Number C32 has been closed. Number C33 has been deferred. Number C34, Charles Davis, trustee, 521st Street Trust. Number C35, Joseph B. Davis Jr. Estate. Number C36 has been closed. Number C37, Jennifer T. Farmby. Item number C38, Dorenza Florence Estate. Item number C40 has been removed. Number C41, Betty Hines, Carolyn Anderson Brown Estate. Number C42, Annie M. Jackson Estate. Number C44, Mark D. Regina and Rachel Regina. Item number C46, Dorothea V. Satchel Estate. Number C47 has been closed. Number C48, USA Housing and Urban Development. Number C50 has been removed. Number C51, Jennifer Beaton. Number C52, Ashley Clearhue and David Ian Becerra. Number C53, Tamara Eastburn. Number C54, Michael and Vanessa Grigorin. And number C55 has been deferred. Number C56, Lawrence A. Myers and Margaret C. Myers. Number C57 has been deferred. Number C58 has been closed. Number C59, Hayden and Jacqueline Tubbs. Number C60, Eugene and Deborah T. Willman. Number C61, Joe C. Braxton Estate. Number C62, Joe C. Braxton Estate. Number C63, Lisa A. Clayton Davis. Number C64, Lisa A. Clayton Davis. Number C65, Mary Catherine Klein. Item number C66, James S. Cook. Number C67, Leo J. Corrigan. Item number C68, Denise Holmes LLC. Number C69, Suzanne M. Flores Estate. Item number C70, Winifred R. Jacoby, and that's it. Item number C71, KNNZ LLC. Item number C72, William G. Peters Jr. Item number C73, William G. Peters Jr. Item number C78, Christopher C. Vokar. Item number C79, Crooked Pine Investments LLC. Item number C80, Crooked Pine Investments LLC. Item number C81, Jody and John Grew. Item number C82, JHH Apple LLC. Item number C83 has been closed. Number C84, Adele Troca. Item number C85, Annie Adams Estate. Item number C86, Affordable Real Estate Network. Number C87, Affordable Real Estate Network. Number C88, Daniel Christian Trustee, 7th Trust. Number C89, Dixie Doodle LLC. And it does, as long, is the agenda the same?
It's the same agenda, I'm
That's
just
fine,
saying
the
it's
stamps
not.
don't matter. They just need to view.
Okay.
It's fine. Item number C90, Family Dollar Stores of Florida Incorporated. Did you close out?
Yeah.
Let's just hold on a second.
Mine closed down and opened it back up.
The same, okay. Now try that, right? I don't know. I can't, where's come to? Because I'm getting, it's a new one. Okay. Item number 90, Family Dollar Stores of Florida Incorporated. Item number C91, Markel Hickson. Item number C92, Lucille Jackson Estate. Item number C96, Lauren Moten. Item number C98, Nissan Holdings Group LLC. Item number C100 has been removed. Number C102, Alan K. Dahlstrom. Item number C103, Debmar Sky St. Pete LLC. Item number C104, Debmar Sky St. Pete LLC. Number C105, Debmar Sky St. Pete LLC. Number C106, Debmar Sky St. Pete LLC. Number C108's been deferred. Number C109, Flip It to You LLC. Number C110, Jackson Trust 1751, Jim MacArthur Trustee. Number C111, Ziad Lambini Trustee. Rayan Nawi Lambini Trustee. Number C112, Stephen Norris and Dale Ray Hemrick. Number C113 has been deferred. Number C114 has been deferred. Number C115, 444 12th LLC. Number C116, number C117 has been closed. Number C118 has been deferred. Number C119, Community Service Foundation. Number C120. Item number Brett K. Denard Sr. Item number C121, Brenda Forney. Item number C122, Rhonda Gary and Cortez M. Foster. Number C123, Bernard Henry. Number C124, Jodine and Henry Hester. Number C125, Bertha Lethand. Number C126 has been closed. Number C128 has been closed. Number C129 has been removed. Number C130 has been removed. Number C131, SFR Tampa Owner 1 LP. Item number C-132, Valera Property Brothers LLC. Item number C-133, Valera Property Brothers LLC. Number C-134, James Warren Estate. Number C-135 has been removed. Number C-136, 2722 14th Avenue South LLC. Number C-137 is AM Properties Corp. Trustee, AZP Northland Trust. Number C-138 has been removed. Number C-139, Michael C. Klaus. Number C-140, Rhonda Renee Gary. Number C-141, Darcy A. Goodson. Number C-142, Donald A. Johnson and Jennifer J. Johnson. Number C-143, Parker Lee Place. Number C-144, Trust Number 5100, John Linhan, Trustee. Number C-145 has been deferred. Number C-148, June A. Johnston. Number C-149, Alton R. O'Berry III. Number C-150, Alton R. O'Berry III. Number C-151, Daniel J. Piero. And number C-152 has been deferred. Number C-153, Villa Creek GP LLC. And number C-154, Frederick E. Miller and Thomas C. Miller. Number C-157, Thomas L. Richards. Number C-158 has been closed. Number C-159 has been deferred. Number C-160 has been deferred. Number C-161 has been closed. Number C-162, Brown Number 3 LLC. Number C-163, James C. Davis Estate. Number C-164 has been closed. Number C-165, Vincent Escorbacus. Number C-166, Jolyn S. Johnson. Number C-167, Nimbus Apollo LLC. Number C-168, Nimbus Apollo LLC. Number C-169, number C-170 has been deferred. Number C-171 has been closed. Number C-172, James M. Wade. Number C-174, Dolores P. Gibbons. Number C-175, Bimbazar Johnny and Swanti Johnny. Number C-176, Bimbazar Johnny and Swanti Johnny. And number C-178, Alta A. Matthews. And number C-179, Antonio Williams. And number C-180 has been closed. Number C-181 has been deferred. Number C-182, BK Inglesby Holdings LLC. Number C-183, BK Inglesby Holdings LLC. And number C-185, Maylin Guzman. Number C-186 has been closed. Number C-187 has been deferred. Number C-188, Zachary Ryan Kinsler. And number C-189, Robert J. Kerr Jr. and John F. Kerr. And number C-190, Robert McCann. And number C-191, Robert McCann. And number C-192, Gregory D. Miller. And number C-193, Sally K. Noss. And number C-194, Corey A. Roberts and Diane F. Bryant Estate. And number C-196, Teresa Walbrecker. And number C-198, Bogus Ciega, Florida LLC. Number C-199 has been closed. Number C-202, Levon Properties Incorporated. And number C-206 has been deferred. Number C-208, Zernoco Tino and Elza Turdova Tizova. Item number C-209 has been deferred. Number C-210 has been removed.
We know who you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. C-211, Courtney C. Winters and Tracy and E. Winters Estate. Item number C-212, Gentle Johnny Estate. Item number C-213 has been deferred. Number C-214, Marta Oshpers. Item number C-216, Peter Pham and Thao Lee T. Hong. Item number C-217, Joe and Carolyn Santos. Number C-218, 6400 Investment Properties LLC. Number C-219 has been removed. Number C-220 has been deferred. Number C-222 has been removed. And number C-223, Peter Gios. And number C-224 has been closed. Number C-227, Julia Reardon. Number C-228 has been closed. Number C-229, Michael J. Ball. And number C-230, William Carpenza. And number C-231 has been removed. Number C-232, Greenwood Cemetery Association. Number C-233, Vincent Garbakis. Number C-235 has been deferred. Number C-236, Paula G. and Stephen H. Crabell. And number C-239, Michelle L. Phillips. Number C-242 has been deferred. Number C-244 has been deferred. Number C-245 has been removed. Number C-246, Trust 430, Bay Area Property Management and Investment. Number C-247, number C-248 has been deferred. Item number C-250, Earl Bernard Estate. Item number C-251, Hermana Bridgman. Item number C-252 has been closed. Number C-254, C-255, C-256 have been deferred. Item number C-257, Or Enterprises Incorporated. Number C-258, Or Enterprises Incorporated. Number C-259 has been closed. Number C-260 has been deferred. Number C-261 has been closed. Number C-265, Naletta L. Blacksman Trustee, 2526 8th Avenue South Trust. Number C, 266 Javar J. Edmond. Number C, 268 Foxwell Investors LLC. Number C, 270 Chem M. Hamilton. Number C, 271 Investworks Solutions LLC. Number C, 272 Investworks Solutions LLC. Number C, 273 Thelma Kyler Kelly. Item number C, 274 Betty J. Lassiter Estate. Number C, 275 Wanda Gale Lee and Rodney Joanne Lee. Item number C, 276 Estain T. Lewis. Item number C, 278 M.I. Herrera Group LLC. Item number C, 289 Morales Handiwork and HVAC Incorporated. Item number C, 281 Robert Rogers Jr. Item number C, 282 Robert Rogers Jr. Item number C, 283 Sheikah Starks and Cassandra Crumty. Item number C, 284 has been closed. Number C, 285 Mary P. Wagman. And that concludes the read-in.
That it?
You do need a microphone now for your order.
I order that certification of liens be deferred for 25 days for the item numbers and cases as just read by staff. Further, I order to remove from the agenda the cases that are closed as read into the record by staff and all cases that have previously been acted upon in this meeting. And finally, I order that the liens for cases on the amended consent agenda be certified. This hearing is adjourned.
We're done.
My name is Jacoby Chambliss, and I'm a traffic signal technician here with the City of St. Pete. We maintain our traffic signals here. We have the signal heads, we got the cabinets, we have the controllers, we got the conflict monitors, so we just make sure that everything stays operational and safe. This is a very important job. We make sure that people get to work on time. We make sure you get there safely. That's one of the most important things, is just being safe. Without traffic signals, life would be chaos for us. We come in, we get our orders from our manager. We check our trucks and make sure we have everything we need for today. Our orders can be anywhere from maintaining a cabinet where we go out and clean it out and just make sure all the timing and everything's up to par. From there, it could be calls we get in from citizens saying, hey, you got lights out, and we'll take care of different things. That you got poles that get hit, it's always something different. It's a highly hazardous job. You're dealing with electricity, high voltage you're dealing with, the weather. It's a rough job to be out there. You got traffic coming by you, all types of speed. But I can tell you that the city of St. Pete, they take pride in what we do as far as taking care of our signals, and we're out here swapping our equipment out at a rapid pace here. We're trying to change out all these cabinets. We're putting in new controllers. We're doing a lot to make sure the city stays safe and to upgrade and change with the times. Every day is just always an adventure. It's always something more to learn. I enjoy the people I work with. I enjoy the city of St. Pete. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy helping the citizens. I just enjoy what I do, man. It's a great job.
Dear reader, you are loved, more than you know.
Keep smiling and shining and being who you are.
The world is lucky to have you.
Happy Pride to you. Celebrate like you should.
Life would be dull without you in it.
Keep shining bright.
Sunshine face.
You are so loved. Do not let anyone ever tell you different.
St. Pete loves you.
We need you. We appreciate you. Thank you for being you.
You are beautiful just as you are, and you make our city more beautiful because you are a part of it.
You make the world more colorful.
You make the world brighter.
Never give up. You are loved for exactly
Who you are. I promise. The world needs you in it.
The Pinellas Trail is probably the best way I've found to get all over the county without worrying about traffic or my pace. It's just a way to get around and have fun.
So in the spring, say on a weekend, on a Sunday, you'd find lots of folks out just walking, biking, just really enjoying the weather.
So the trail starts downtown by the water, and it goes all the way to Tarpon Springs, if I'm not mistaken. And I like it because it kind of cuts back behind the neighborhoods. There's murals, there's tree coverage, and it just kind of winds through the most beautiful parts of the city.
It's an awesome engineering feat, and it dissects the middle of an urban city, and at the same time, you feel like you're off to yourself. You're a little bit secluded, ample places for you to run, ride, and even collect your thoughts.
It's pretty quiet and peaceful. Quiet in the sense that there's typically during the day a lot of users on the trail, so you're never by yourself, but everybody's kind of in their own world, so it's not a lot of noise.
We were looking for a place that would be a hub for a healthy and active community, and one of the big things we wanted here was to have a place where people could run and walk right near our location. Pinellas Trail, which is right behind our facility, turned out to be the perfect location.
We do lots of events here at the store. We do probably about 100 free community group runs from here where we're using the trail.
Have a great walk. Have a great run, guys.
The running community in St. Pete is so supportive and so encouraging of all of the runners, no matter your pace. Everybody's just encouraging you along the way. And so when I went to my first group run, I invited my mom to come and do an evening walk with me, and that became part of our weekly routine, particularly in the spring.
We do 2 runs a week, Monday and Thursdays, where we're running on the trail. So that's 100 times every year right there that we're out running on the trail with a group of people.
I retired from Pinellas County in urban planning, and so I was involved in the initial planning for the Pinellas Trail. We saw it as a means of providing a facility that could be used not just for recreation, but health-related benefits as we deal with obesity and other issues. So our planning was from the perspective of an alternative to on-road facilities.
So a lot of times here in the store, we encourage people, just go out there and see what happens. Don't have any set expectation for how far you're gonna go, how fast you're gonna go. Just get on the trail and have fun.
The scenery is probably why I started using the trail as much as I did. The murals, number one, are my absolute favorite thing, and they're constantly changing.
Not far from here, it's called Stonehenge Park. They have some beautiful murals painted on the bridges.
Stonehenge Park is like one of those really cool wonders of art, and it's just right here. Nobody knows about it.
So you'll have a cool blend between really fun art, awesome plants life. There's all sorts of berries and things growing I didn't know about back there. You learn a little bit more every time you go. Good morning. I love to specialize.
When I was working still, we did surveys along the trail, and on any given weekday, we found about a third of the users were using it as a commute alternative.
If you've never tried the Pinellas Trail, I urge you to do so. You can walk it, you can run it, you can rent a bike at just about every few miles. You'll find a bike shop that's got bikes for rent.
And we've had people come in and verbalize like their thanks, but also like you just see them out there and they just look radiant. They look awesome and healthy, happy, and you can tell that they're glad they're doing what they're doing. We're just appreciative that we had a part in their success.
Trails give me the opportunity to really get out there and feel safe. There's bike lanes in some places, but to have a fully dedicated place, that helps a lot. It's more than just a long stretch of pavement, it's a community.
The trail is a wonder that brings everybody together.
I think a lot of people don't realize how long we've been together and how long I have been working within the studio. Like, just because they don't see me all the time doesn't mean that I haven't been integral to the studio and that you haven't been integral to my life. Like, you've been my mentor here since 2008, and I love this space. And this is my home. And as a filmmaker, because I am a filmmaker, we always have this thing called our passion project. Like, this is the film that I have to make before I die. I'll spend all my money to make it. Like, it's one of those types of things. And I sat back one day and I started thinking, do I have that project as a filmmaker? And that project for me was the studio. I knew I wanted it with all my being and fiber and love to lead this organization, to pour back into this organization that poured into me.
You want to actually give back without even saying, I'm giving back. It's just, Oprah calls it a full circle moment. Yeah. And I just knew, and the Board of Trustees knew, that you would be a good steward of this assignment.
But also, you are still going to be a guiding light for me. You're still going to be a mentor.
It's just a natural progression, and that you were around all these years to take over. The nuance of this place is simply, well, I've distilled it to the answer is always yes.
Always yes.
Because that affirms we're gonna do this.
Hey guys, Ken Wells here again on our Sunrunner tour.
Today I'm with Catherine Woods, who was the artist that did so much of the work that you'll see at the stops. Thank you for joining us, Catherine.
Oh, my pleasure.
Tell us a little bit about what the art means.
Absolutely. Since St. Pete is such a mural city, if you took all the glasses out of all the shelters and put them together, it kind of looks like a mural, a continuous mural. If you take the glasses and where they are at all the 16 stops, they all relate to the neighborhood. It's like the welcoming front porch to the community and the neighborhood that it's in.
What's the message you want to convey to folks who might be from out of town that see that?
I just want them to feel the joy of St. Petersburg. The colors are joyful, the way the sun comes through it's a very happy thing, and I just want them to feel that.
And what drew you to this project in the first place? How'd you become
Oh my gosh,
involved?
how could you say no to that big canvas? There's 2 glasses per station, and each one is 5 foot by 7 foot, 16 stations, so that's a lot of glass, and that's a lot of chance to get a message across and do a lot of beautiful color.
Well, thank you. It's beautiful art.
My pleasure.
And it tells the story of St. Petersburg.
It does.
Thank you, Catherine.
My pleasure.
another great day in St. Pete. We're here at the St. Pete Yacht Club celebrating the 52nd Regatta del Sol al Sol race. And it's also a celebration of our sister city relationship with Isla Mujeres and the country of Mexico.
Isla Mujeres and St. Petersburg are sister city. The main reason is La Regatta del Sol al Sol. We are connected. We share culture.
It's really a great relationship that helps build economic trade and visitation between the two locations. And we want to continue to build on that relationship as we go forward. So it's a great celebration tonight.
Isla Mujeres and St. Petersburg have a long-standing relationship going back to 1969. This race started then, and it was one of a series of races from cities along the U.S. Gulf Coast going to Isla Mujeres. Right now there's only 2 of those races that have survived to this day.
For St. Petersburg, that means we have 2 sister cities, Takamatsu, Japan, which is our oldest, and Isla Mujeres, which was started in 2016. I mean, it's really just a way to recognize the connections that we have with another city around the world and build that economic and cultural connection.
It's an amazing relationship. It's a great relationship. We have a great relationship with Mayor Welch. We have a lot of events together. And now, the Association of Mexican Mayors has a recognition, an award, the name is ALMA, to Mayor Welch. The reason is the great relationship with Mexico.
We really want to be in touch and make sure that the entire world knows that we welcome everyone to participate with St. Pete in our economic growth and enjoying everything that St. Pete has.
Buen viaje. Bienvenidos a México.
It feels like my whole career, I've just found a job, but never the job. Finding the perfect job that suits my life has always been challenging. I've always sort of just felt like a number at the places where I worked, so I think that I'm ready to find a job that will give me the benefits that I deserve. They always say that you're only as strong as your own network, so I'm expanding that. Beginning today, I'm asking anyone and everyone I meet if they know where I should work. Hey, don't you wish that you had a job that would contribute to your retirement fund without having to contribute your own money?
You should work where I work then.
It probably makes sense that I can't find the perfect job situation. I mean, who would ever leave if you had it so good? Hey, wouldn't you freak out if you could find a job that would provide you with a doctor that you could see anytime, without a copay even?
Yeah, and how about most common prescriptions too?
Yeah. Wait, is that a thing?
Yeah, you should work where I work.
Everyone always says, find a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life. But I feel like a job like that doesn't actually exist. It's just a thing that you can say. Hey. You know what I want? I want a job that carries over my sick and vacation leave, instead of it just going away if I don't use it.
Well, you should work where I work.
Maybe my expectations are too high. Maybe a job is just a job. I mean, who really works somewhere that has the perfect package? Hey, little guy. You have it made, don't you? I should take a page out of your book. Get a job without a desk.
I don't have a desk.
Wish I could find that job.
Well, you should work where I work.
I'm starting to think that there is a place that has the benefits that matter to me. A place where I can find a solid work-life balance, but there's no way there's any job possibilities, right?
You really should work where we work.
Wait, you guys too?
Yeah, man, there's plenty of job opportunities at the city of St. Pete.
Where would I even begin?
Easy. Just go to stpete.org/jobs and then go from there.
Oh, I have to go.
Okay, wait. He's got our mic.
I need to work where they work.
Cut, cut, cut.
Did it!
Hey guys, St. Pete Mayor Ken Welch here, continuing our Sunrunner bus tour. I'm here with fellow Bull USF St. Pete student Joey Vars. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us what Sunrunner means for a student at USF.
You know, Sunrunner is really a game changer. If you live on the western side of St. Petersburg or by the beaches and you're a student, it really opens up the city to being able to get to town a lot quicker. You can go to class without having to drive. I take my bike from Paso Grill to the station and then I'm downtown in less than an hour and I don't have to worry about driving.
And you were telling us on the bus how you actually get your bike mounted on the bus. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so the way that the Sunrunner has it, they have these little bike assists and you wheel your bike right in kind of on the little machine and then it verticalizes it. So it takes up less space, you can kind of stand more compact and you actually get more people on the bus that way too.
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us today, Joey.
Thanks for having us.
We'll talk to you more on our Sunrunner bus tour.
Growing up, one of my biggest female role models was my grandmother. My grandmother was an incredible woman. She was hardworking, she was kind, she was sweet, but she was tough. And she really taught me from a very, very young age how important it is not only to work hard for everything that you want, but once you achieve those things, to give back to others.
When you look at who did I look up to, I have to say my mother was definitely the primary one, because she was actually able to take so little and provide so much. She taught me what fortitude was. She taught me what commitment was.
Even in this day and age, it can be really tough for women who are, aspiring to achieve their career goals or their own personal goals for their life. For those of us who are at this level, who have, accomplished some of our goals in life, we have kind of a responsibility to reach our hand out to that next young woman, grab her hand and pull her along.
Well, I think growing up, children learn from those who are around them. And even as they're babies, they mimic everything that their parents do and what they teach them. And I think having the positive role models that are necessary to make the right choices in life, role models are helpful.
Well, really, I think the sky's the limit when it comes to female leadership in our city. I think there is a day when we will have a woman in the mayor's office.
The future of female leadership in St. Petersburg is awesome. It looks bright. I am so encouraged. We take a lot of our lived experiences and we apply logical applications to making decisions.
I'm inspired and encouraged by the number of young women who are rolling up their sleeves, getting involved in their communities, and really stepping up to be true leaders.
There was a time where it was, when is there going to be the first female on city council? Then we got to, there's a supermajority of women on city council. And I think that question in terms of whether or not women can be a part of our city and whatever leadership position isn't a question anymore. Women do lead.
Women have such an important role in our culture.
And the future of the women in St. Pete has never felt brighter.
Mentor a young lady or find a mentor for yourself.
Be sure to honor the women in your life this month and every month.
This is our first City Hall on tour for 2024. We're here at Pinellas Technical College, and it's an opportunity for the community to talk to any of our departments, from sanitation to codes to law enforcement, police, or fire, about our community, about their recommendations, their concerns, and get feedback on the spot.
Community folks who are where you're at. The City Hall on Tour is designed to put you in spaces where people live. in real time.
It's also a focus on education and career paths, and that's why we're here at Pinellas Technical College. They're a great partner with us. You heard about the Mayor's Future Ready Academy, where we have 12 young people who are going through on-the-job training in various city departments like sanitation and public works.
For our Future Ready Academy, we really consist of like going through each department through the city and then learning new experiences through each department and what each department consists of. So you kind of get a win-win in each opportunity. So it's kind of a lot through each department. You get to learn a lot.
We look at the city of St. Petersburg, from the historic gas plant to all of the housing developments that are going on, corridor development. Most of those are driven by the trades. Plumbers, electricians, craftsmen of all kinds.
It's also a focus this year on careers and getting folks connected to career paths. We try to have these around the city. We had 4 last year. This year we'll have 3 and another one dedicated to youth. That's how we all move forward together.
Wardsville, that was actually named for perhaps a businessman and his wife who was maybe for a while the postmistress in town.
They took care of everybody's mail here, and we needed a name, and we were Wardsville until, you know, the magical day where we became St. Petersburg.
And speaking of that, how did it happen?
That's a great story. If you ride the trolleys, you hear a great story about, you know, a coin flip where, you know, Peter Demens and John Williams, who owned most of what is now downtown St. Petersburg, General John Williams, flipped a coin, right? The winner gets the name of the city, loser gets the name of the first hotel. Makes complete sense, right? The city is St. Petersburg, named after St. Petersburg, Russia, where Peter Demens is from. The Detroit Hotel is our first hotel, named after Detroit, Michigan, where Williams is from. Great story, but it's not true. We needed a name. And the postmaster wanted a name. Peter Demens had a press conference saying he was taking his train to St. Petersburg. John Williams didn't want to call it St. Petersburg. So there's all kinds of discussion. So what do you think happened after that?
I think somebody, perhaps one of the partners in that railroad enterprise, said, look, we have to name this after Peter Demens, and so we're going to name it St. Petersburg, and you go to the post office and tell Ms. Ward that's what it's going to be. And that's probably about how it happened, as simple as that.
It's as close as it came.
District 4 is centrally located in St. Petersburg, from Coffee Pot and North Shore to the east and I-275 to the west. It reaches as far north as 77th Avenue North and as far south as 5th Avenue North. I'm Councilmember Lisette Hanowitz, your representative for District 4. I love where I'm standing right now, where baseball legends played. Huggins Stengel Field hosted the New York Yankees spring training sessions with players like Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and Joe DiMaggio, all the way back in 1925. This baseball field is located in what I consider one of the city's best parks, Crescent Lake Park, a 56-acre city park featuring the natural Crescent Lake, home to an incredible amount of wildlife. And of course, one of the city's most recognizable landmarks resides in Crescent Lake neighborhood, the Water Tower. Standing above the treetops at 110 feet tall, the tower features local artist Tom Stovall's mural and plays host to a pandemonium of green monk parrots. One of the best parts of District 4 are the many unique neighborhoods with their diverse architecture and residents that call this district home. Historical Northeast, Greater Woodlawn, Euclid St. Paul, and Crescent Lake and Crescent Heights are just a few of the great neighborhoods that represent the area. Our numerous parks allow our neighborhoods to enjoy casual waterfront strolls, swimming laps in the pool, play a few games, and a moment to reflect while taking in the nature that surrounds our city. Speaking of nature that surrounds you, tucked away in District 4 is a true tropical oasis, right along 4th Street North. Sunken Gardens is considered St. Pete's oldest living museum and has been around for more than 100 years. Meandering paths guide visitors through a living collection of more than 50,000 tropical plants and flowers. And don't forget about the flock of flamingos. There's really no shortage of energy, nature, neighborhoods, and great local businesses to enjoy while you spend a little time in District 4.
Welcome to the City of St. Petersburg City Council meeting. Your elected officials are Mayor Ken Welch, District 1 and Council Vice Chair Copley Gertis, District 2 Brandy Gabbard, District 4 Lisette Hanowitz, District 5 and Council Chair Deborah Fig Sanders, District 6 Gina Driscoll, District 7, John Muhammad, and District 8, Richie Floyd.
Good afternoon, everyone. We welcome you to the November 7th, 2024 City Council meeting, beginning with the roll call, please.
Hanowitz.
Here.
Fig Sanders.
Here.
Driscoll.
Here.
Muhammad. Floyd.
Here.
Gertis. Here. Gabbard.
Here. Thank you. Joining us this morning for the invocation is Chaplain John Wentworth from the United States Coast Guard. And following that invocation, we're going to have a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you please join me in standing?
Shall we pray? O God, we come before you today with grateful hearts for the privilege to serve and lead in this beautiful city of St. Petersburg. We ask for your wisdom, guidance, and peace to be with each member and all who are gathered here today. Grant us open minds and hearts that we may work together in unity and understanding, making decisions that promote justice, compassion, and the common good for all who call this city home. Help us to approach each discussion with respect, each decision with integrity, and each action with humility. May we be ever mindful of the needs of those that we serve, especially the vulnerable and the undeserved, so that St. Petersburg may flourish as a community of hope, opportunity, and inclusion. We thank you for the diverse gifts, experiences, and perspectives represented here. May they contribute to the richness of this community and the success of their endeavors. Bless this meeting and guide our steps as we strive to honor you in all that we do. With your grace and peace, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in a moment of silence as we honor our fallen first responders. Officer Jean A. Bassett, end of watch, November 10th, 1961. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you, Chaplain Whitworth, for that invocation. Council members, we have an agenda before us today with the request to add F9 and pulled from CB11 and delete J1. With that change, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Move approval.
Second.
Now that we have a motion and second, can you please open the machine for voting? Council members, cast your votes. Seeing that all present council members have voted, can you please tally and announce the votes?
Madam Chair, the motion to approve the agenda passes unanimously with Councilmember Muhammad being absent.
Thank you. Council members, we have a consent agenda before us. I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Move approval.
Second.
And we have no cars.
No cards on it? Okay. We have a motion and it's been properly seconded. Can you please open the machine of voting for the consent agenda? Council members, please cast your votes. Seeing that all present council members have voted, can you please tally and announce the votes?
Madam Chair, the motion to approve the consent agenda passes unanimously with Councilmember Muhammad being absent.
Thank you. Now we're going to move into our awards and presentations. Item D1, that will be presented by our very own Mayor Kenneth T. Welch. It is our Veterans Day proclamation and the 2024 Honored Veteran Award to Captain Mitch Lee. And I also see our council member, Brandy Gabbert, joining him at the podium. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. And actually, Councilmember Gabbert will be presenting the proclamation and honoring our honored veteran. I just wanted to wish everyone a happy November and to honor all of our veterans. If you're a veteran here today, would you raise your hand or stand? Please, let's honor all of our veterans. And Madam Chair, I wanted to congratulate you on your re-election. Looking forward to the next 4 years working with you. Thank you so much. Councilmember Gabbert.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
What about me?
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Wanted just to go ahead and first invite my friend, Mitch Lee, to come up and join me here at the podium. So we are going to be presenting this proclamation to him today. Wanted just to introduce him, but first of all, start out by saying that I'm very proud to do this today. Thank you, Mayor, for the opportunity. Mitch is a District 2 resident. He is a very active District 2 resident, and we work quite frequently with him on issues concerning the district and his neighbors. He is a fantastic advocate for his neighborhoods, and I'm very, very glad to be here today to introduce him to all of you and to give him this proclamation. So before I read the proclamation, I want to tell you just a little bit about Mitch. So Mitch is a West Point graduate and an Army veteran who achieved the rank of captain before transitioning into a distinguished career at Raytheon Technologies, where he retired as a senior vice president after 31 years of faithful service. In 2023, he was inducted into the Senior Hall of Fame in recognition of his leadership and his contributions. He's a passionate community advocate where he has spread joy every single year through holiday caroling at Maria Manor and St. Anthony's Hospital for over 25 years. He has served as the chair of the board of directors for the Pinellas Education Foundation twice and is a member and previous chair of the Independent Citizens Referendum Oversight Committee. Perhaps nearest to his heart, though, has been his investment of over 10,000 volunteer hours that have been shared with his love of cycling and the establishment of the Project Hero Hub of Pinellas, which is the largest hub in the nation for Project Hero. For those who maybe are not aware of what Project Hero is, it is a nonprofit that helps injured veterans and first responders recover through cycling. Over the last 10 years, Mitch has chaired the Florida Honor Ride, which is the largest in the country with over 5,000 cyclists participating. So Mitch, I want to congratulate you on all of your work. Thank you so much personally and on behalf of the residents that you serve in our area for your outstanding commitment to the community, for everything that you do. And with that, I would like to present to you the proclamation of the City of St. Petersburg, which reads, whereas annually since November 1919, the United States has observed Veterans Day, first commemorating as Armistice Day by President Woodrow Wilson. And whereas Veterans Day is an opportunity for all Americans to reflect on the heroism of those who served in the U.S. Armed Services and share our gratitude for their sacrifice. And whereas on November 11th, All citizens are invited and encouraged to celebrate Veterans Day by honoring our veterans who have given so much to ensure that their fellow Americans are able to live their lives in peace. And whereas the City of St. Petersburg is proud to recognize the courage, valor, and contributions of veterans and their families in support of our freedoms. And whereas the City of St. Petersburg annually honors and pays tribute to local veterans who have served with honor and distinction. Now, therefore, I, Councilmember Brandy Gabbard, in collaboration with Kenneth T. Welch, Mayor of the City of St. Petersburg, Florida, do hereby proclaim Monday, November 11th, 2024 as Veterans Day in our city, and encourage all citizens to join in celebrating the strength and courage and the support that they give to our community, city, and our country. Thank you, Mitch.
I would be remiss in not recognizing a couple of folks that have been a part of my journey. You've heard of Pinellas Education Foundation. With us today is a current chair. I'm a past chair, so that's a past title. Is Bob Bilek, and today we just voted at the foundation to make sure we give $1.6 million to the affected teachers and administrators in the county from the hurricane to relief. So. Also with me is Tom Moore. Tom is was a senior vice president of United Healthcare. He's now with Moore Insurance Options. He's also a co-chair of the Florida Honor Ride and a very high member within our Project Here organization, and enjoyed his support over the years. And I just wanted to say, I wasn't expecting this. I came into the Army through West Point, and I joined when the Vietnam War was going on, so it was not a real popular time to be in the military. Just before I graduated, Vietnam shut down. So I was stationed in Germany, and it was during the Cold War, and our job was to protect the Fulda Gap against the Russians and the East Germans from coming through. And as one of my fellow soldiers said one time, "You must have done a really good job because they never came through." So that was the era that I was in service, and then I've been in St. Petersburg for over 40 years, and love this city, and I love the support we've received for all the things that are dear to my heart. And Copley Gertie's dad used to work for me, Charlie Gertie, so thank you.
Thank you again, Mitch. Mayor, please do the honor. Yes. Thank you. Congratulations, Mitch. Here's your proclamation. There you go. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Okay, so now we'll move into open forum. Clerk, can you please read the rules?
If you wish to address City Council on subjects other than public hearings or quasi-judicial items listed on the agenda, please sign up with the clerk. Only the individual wishing to speak may sign the open forum sheet. Only city residents, owners of property, business owners in the city, or their employees may speak. All issues discussed under open forum must be limited to issues related to the City of St. Petersburg government. If you are speaking to an item on the agenda, you may only speak once during the open forum or when the item comes up on the agenda. In order to provide an opportunity for all citizens to address council, each individual will be given 3 minutes to speak, and after which the microphone will be muted. If you wish to address City Council through the Zoom meeting, you must use the raise hand feature button in the Zoom app or enter *9 on your phone at the time the agenda item is addressed. When it is your turn to speak, you will be unmuted and asked to state your name and address. At the conclusion of your comments or when you reach the 3-minute time limit, you will be muted. All raised hands will be lowered after each agenda item. Regardless of the method of participation used, normal rules apply, including the 3-minute time limit on comments, the requirement that any presentation materials must be submitted in advance of the meeting, and the rules of decorum. If live public comment is disrupted by violations of the rules of decorum, the chair is authorized to accept public comment by alternate means, including by email only. And we do have one speaker, Teresa Hilliard. Please go to either podium, state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to address City Council.
Good afternoon. My name is Therese Hilliard. My address is 758 58th Avenue Northeast, St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm a 56-year resident of the Edgemore neighborhood, and I have 19 years working in communities and neighborhoods throughout the city of St. Petersburg, both with the AmeriCorps Vista program and with the City of St. Pete's Neighborhood Partnership program. I've come to you today to speak about our neighborhood specifically. I'll start with some references to City's Vision 2020 and also ScienceDirect.com. Second, I'll reference the publications from CDC, OSHA, National Institute on Health in regards to hydrogen sulfide gas and its effect on people and animals. First of all, Vision 2020 mentions neighborhood and residential neighborhoods, and I quote from that document: the traditional neighborhoods in the city of St. Pete were developed prior to World War II. Neighborhoods feature narrow, deep lots laid out in traditional grid pattern with narrow streets lined with sidewalks. Our neighborhood doesn't have a whole lot of sidewalks, but we are a traditional neighborhood. Also, according to Vision 2020, developmental regulations are that protect and enhance the city's older traditional neighborhoods is a priority. Residential roadways are designed to be light-duty, limited to passenger cars and service trucks. Livable Streets 2.0 from 2021 says, a residential street is a street where people live, including children, adults, elderly individuals, and characterized by its potential to serve as a nurturing environment for families and communities. Second on the agenda is hydrogen sulfide gas. Hydrogen sulfide gas has, sorry, I'm flipping through my notes. I did this kind of fast this morning. Hydrogen sulfide is a colorless, flammable gas with a characteristic odor of rotten eggs. It has the propensity to cause headaches, nausea, and other problems, and is also a contact irritant. It is highly toxic to aquatic wildlife, and it interferes with the respiratory system of the aquatic wildlife, essentially suffocating animals even when there is oxygen present. Now I'll tie these two things together for you, because I guess you're wondering what's going on with this. The reason I came to you today to talk about this is I have heard rumors and ideas floated around that the city department representatives have been expressing a possible proposed holding site for the...
Thank you so much. Thank you. Do we have anyone on Zoom? No. No one on Zoom. Okay, so now we'll close open forum and we'll move to our new ordinances. Oh, I'm sorry.
Madam Chair, if I could, I just wanted to, I think where Ms. Hilliard might be going is that there's concern that Puryear Park might be used as a DMS site, and that is, I think Mr. Administrator Jeffries will have a report later, but that is not going to happen at that location. Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I didn't see it on the board. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we'll close open forum and we'll move to new ordinances, taking up E1. Clerk, can you please read the title?
Ma'am, proposed ordinance number 601H, an ordinance enacting year-end appropriation adjustments for fiscal year 2024 for the operating budget and capital improvement program budget and adjustments to the fiscal year 2025 budget and providing an effective date. And the public hearing for this item is on November 21st, and we have no cards.
Okay, thank you. So joining us is Budget Director, Ms. Elizabeth Mackoffs.
Good afternoon, Chair and City Council members. This afternoon is the first reading of the FY 24-25 Budget Cleanup Ordinance, also known as Budget Reconciliation. At the BF&T meeting this morning, we had a detailed discussion of both the FY 24 and 25 recommended budget entries and adjustments. This afternoon, I have the same presentation from this morning's BF&T. If Council prefers, I can give a summarized version of the presentation, or I can answer any questions on the report. And the public hearing of the cleanup ordinance is scheduled for Thursday, November 24th, 2024.
Move approval.
Second.
That's the 21st. November 21st.
Did I say the wrong date? I'm sorry.
No. November 21st. Now it's been properly motioned and seconded for E1. Can you please open the machine for voting? Council members, can you please cast your votes? Seeing that our present, well, who am I missing? It didn't take mine. Okay. Seeing that our present council members have voted, can you please tally and announce the votes?
Madam Chair, the motion to approve agenda item E1 passes unanimously with Councilmember Mohammed being absent.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you, Ms. Liz. Can we now move to E2? Can you please read the title?
Proposed ordinance number 602H, an ordinance of the City of St. Petersburg, Florida, amending Chapter 22, Division 4 of the City of St. Petersburg, of the St. Petersburg City Code relating to the supplemental firefighters retirement system by amending Section 22-201N to remove the availability of a variable cost and cost of living increase, COLA, for pension accounts originally established before October 1st, 2008, providing for an annual COLA beginning on January 1, 2025 for pension accounts originally established before October 1st, 2008, providing for the payment of such annual COLA to pension accounts if the member for whom such account was established attained or would have attained age 60 prior to October 1st of the applicable year, and providing an effective date. We have no cards on this item, and the public hearing for this item is also on November 21st, 2024.
And joining us is our Human Resource Director, Mr. Chris Duell.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, council members. Before you is the proposed ordinance to amend the code for the supplemental firefighters pension plan. What is more specifically, what is proposed is to add a COLA, cost of living adjustment, annually for members who retired prior to October 1, 2008. The current members who are active and who retired after 2008, 10/1/2008, already have a COLA established in the plan, and that is 2% per year, provided that Chapter 175 money is available. And that was negotiated around 2008, 2009 time period. At the time, the union began bargaining for a COLA in 2006, 2007 range, while we had contracts open. Over the years, the parties refined their proposals, and then in 2009, they signed the agreement where that pension was established. So anyone who retired after 10/1/2008 was eligible for that, and that left approximately at the time 155 retirees that were in the plan that were not eligible for this benefit. So ever since that time, that a group of those retirees have asked the union and asked city officials to do something to give them a COLA. And over the years, we have given them discretionary COLAs that is part in the code right now, that every year administration can review the plan and take a look at it. And over those years, since the plan went into effect, the entire pension plan, and that was 1970, by the way, that group has received 7 COLAs. And I can give you the years that those occurred. I have a number of notes here. That started in 1998, again in 2006, 2013, and if you bear with me, I will be able to get you the other years. Another one in 2017, and then 2 recent in 23 and 24. So they have received some discretionary COLAs, but they are not permanent, and that is what they are seeking with this. And administration listened to the group and has proposed a 1% COLA for them every year, up to 1% depending on the CPI. Yeah, any other, I know you have questions, so I'll gladly pause there and field the question.
Councilmember Gabbard.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Chris, I just have a couple of questions, and thank you for the one-on-one to kind of dig into this a little bit more and explain it. But we had our budget and finance meeting this morning, and it kind of came up, when talking about the pension plans and all of that. We know we have collective bargaining coming up again with the union in the spring. So understanding that, really the ask of the group is a permanent COLA, and that is what this item is for. As a matter of process, can a permanent COLA be part of a new collective bargaining agreement for this particular group?
The current one, the group that they call themselves the 155,
right.
the pre-2008s, they are no longer employees. They're not represented by anyone. So there is no bargaining. They are not part of a collective bargaining.
Okay, so there would be no other mechanism to provide a permanent COLA other than this action we have in front of us.
Correct.
Okay. And one of the things that came up, and Tom, hopefully you had an opportunity to speak with legal, and maybe you guys were able to kind of talk about this before, in between meetings, was this kind of precedent of doing something every year and what that looks like according to state statute that kind of sets it up as though it kind of is assumed that it is a permanent. Jane, you weren't at that meeting, but I assume that they told you kind of what we were talking about. Okay, all right. So can you kind of speak to that as like if we did not do a permanent, but we're doing something every year and setting that precedent, what does state statute look at that as?
It's not a legal issue, it's an actuarial issue. And that's how it's come up in the past. Pensions in general are one of the most complicated things that I'm involved in. There are many groups that participate in the pension and the review of the pension and the functioning of the pension. You've got the board, you have participation by the state of Florida, you have the administration, you have unions, you have all sorts of people that are involved. You also have people who provide the background and the information for the pensions. You have actuaries that review the plans every year that provide the cost estimates of new benefits, things like that. You have consultants who oversee the investments, you have investment managers. There's just a whole huge group of people that are involved in this. And my recollection is that that was raised by the actuary because it's not a question of paying out, that you would, if you gave this variable COLA year to year, that you would become in a position where you would have to pay it out. It would be a question of, would you have to fund it? So what you see now, the actuarial funding report of what the cost would be, the question would be, because it goes to the state every year for consideration for approval, the actuarial report goes to the state for approval, and when everything gets approved, the city and the pension fund receive the distribution, that's the premium tax monies. It's further complicated, and I don't want to go too into the weeds. There is a state statute on the pensions. For firefighters, it's Chapter 175. You are a local law plan under Chapter 175. You're not a statutory plan, you're a local law plan. So your plan itself is in city code. However, city code has to comply in certain ways with the state statute. And when the state statute becomes, has more benefits available, there are ways to add them through using the premium tax monies. There's a lot of people involved. So the way this came up years ago was that the actuary was concerned that, and I believe there was some correspondence with the state, that if you continue to give the ad hoc COLA every year, that the state, even though it's not an ad hoc, it's not a COLA that would become permanent in terms of paying it out, you would though turn it into something that you have to fund. So you would have to fund it in the same way that you see the actuary report here, even though in code you didn't turn it into a permanent COLA. And I know that was a lot that I just shared.
No.
It's very complicated.
Yeah. And you would have to fund it at the amount of the most recent COLA or an average of?
It was never very clear on that. Okay. It was more of a historical look that if you were providing this variable COLA, at some point, the state holding that premium tax money was going to say, hey, you're basically turning this into a permanent COLA. And again, that's not that the city code would change in paying the COLA out to retirees. It's what the state would require through the actuarial approval to pay the city and the pension fund the annual tax premiums that, for example, fund the COLA for everybody post 2008.
Okay. And
I'm sorry. I was going to say,
go ahead.
essentially, it would become a liability on the books, and it would show up in our funded ratio.
And as of right now, that proposed amount is $479,000 a year.
Or
So that could be
That could be
the
the number.
amount of the liability, whether we made this decision or not. If we just said we just wanted to do another year, and then that flagged, because that would be then 3 years in a row.
Correct.
I mean, has there been precedent where people have kind of got caught in this situation?
That I don't have an answer to.
Okay.
But we could look into it. My understanding is it was a concern that was raised by the actuary, because every year the actuaries come and they report to the pension boards in person. And so there are long conversations every year at one meeting a year by the actuaries. And all three pension boards have the same actuary, and police and fire both have the state statutory requirements of Chapter 175 and Chapter 185.
Right.
So it was in those conversations with the actuary, the concern, if you continue to give an ad hoc COLA, more often than not, at some point, the state might take the position that this has become permanent from a funding perspective.
Okay. And I think my concerns are just twofold, and then I'll stop and hear from my colleagues. But one, like we talked this morning about, you know, kind of the percentage of funded on the plan. And, you know, this time last year was 94.94% funded. This year it just happens to be 112,000 or percent, sorry. And so this year, I mean, looks great, right? We're not as worried about the funding, but moving forward, and then to also know that, you know, is coming from the general fund. And then that concerns me with our collective bargaining coming up, if that will have some adverse effect to the collective bargaining for the current fire union, for our current.
And it's certainly not a guarantee that it has some automatic effect, but if the funding ratio continues to decline because of this, because of the added liability, it could inhibit the parties from agreeing to more benefits on top of that, because you wouldn't want to jeopardize the health of the plan. So adding this to the liability sheet, you know, it does have impact, yes.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Vice Chair Gertis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Okay, let's just, Chris, I'm going to pick up where Councilmember Gabbard left off. So for what you're saying is that if this were to have a negative effect on the percentage funded of the pension going forward, not that it necessarily will, but it could affect future negotiations. And so I know a big part of this was equity, and I don't think anybody up here disagrees that we want to be equitable. But I just want to put some data around that. So we're talking about, I think I should have the number right in front of me, and I apologize. It's about 158 members that this affects.
Down to 149.
49. I put a 5 instead of an 8. And how many members are in the pension program post 2008?
So that would be active, 350.
I'm sorry, how many?
Well, it would be active plus anybody that turns 60 after 2008. It wouldn't just be active.
Of the post-2008, the ones that are receiving the 2% COLA, it's 110.
Okay. And then everybody else is still active?
And well, I should say they're active, or folks who haven't hit age 60, which is that cutoff.
Okay. But there, yeah. If there's a way to find out in the next couple minutes, total participants, whether they're taking a benefit or not currently in the post-2008, I'd really like to have that number. If we can find that. The second part of it is, okay, let's talk about the Chapter 175. Has the Chapter 175 money since 2008 not been available?
Not any year did we not receive a healthy check.
Okay, and so since 2008, there has been some sort of COLA addition to the plan,
Correct.
whether it be,
Just to clarify, it went into effect in January 1 of 2010.
okay, so,
Every year
excuse
since
me, 2010,
2010, the COLA has been funded at the fully 2%.
whether that, at the full 2%.
Correct.
Okay. And then, again, going back to something Councilmember Gabbard brought up, there was a negotiation pre-2008 that I'm assuming those members had representation in a negotiation, but then whether from 1970 to 2008, at some point, those members had representation during collective bargaining for their benefits.
Correct. They could have bargained a COLA at any time during contract negotiations.
Okay. So that's the part I struggle with a little bit. And so listen, I've spoken to some of these members. I get the intention of this, but I struggle with it because they had an opportunity to negotiate. They're renegotiating now on their own outside of collective bargaining, right? And then current members and people who haven't taken benefits yet of a number that we know is going to be larger than the 149. We know it's going to be bigger. It's just about how much bigger.
Absolutely.
Then could be worse off because of that. Because they wouldn't be able to negotiate things going forward if it negatively affects the pension program.
Correct.
Okay, that's where I struggle with this. And so I'm gonna listen to some of my colleagues. I'd like the number. And I want to support, like I said, I've had these conversations with multiple of them. But I am struggling with a renegotiation outside of an already done negotiation. And so I'll leave it there for now. But I would like to get the number. Thank you, Chris, for your answers.
Thank you. Councilmember Hanowitz.
Thank you, Chris. And like Councilmember Gabbard and Vice Chair Gerda said, we had a discussion about this at the Budget Committee meeting this morning, and I have similar concerns. And part of it, I'm going to start with the fact that this was bargained for. And what I don't understand is what they got instead of this. And what do the current members don't have? So when we talk about what's equitable, I guarantee you they may have benefits that current members may not have, that I don't know about. So is there a difference in terms of benefits right now that that group is getting?
No.
Okay, so nothing in terms of insurance?
Change.
Nothing.
Where I think you were headed with that is, say, from 1970 up to 2006, when the union did not bargain for a COLA, they were trading other things at the time.
Okay.
So maybe higher wages, maybe reduced work weeks, things of that nature took priority. But then, like I said, in around 2006, the union made this a priority and started to bargain that. And at that time, they may have sacrificed wages or something else.
Right. And that's the hard part with this is you have collective bargaining for a reason. You have the issues at the table. Everyone's at the table. Everyone. And they come to an agreement. And we have members now that are going to be doing the same thing. And now we're opening this door. We're making it permanent. It could have, we know it could have negative effects on the members now. We're aware of that. I think it's important to be fair, but what I can't understand is why this wasn't a priority when they were bargaining.
I can't, that's rhetorical for me.
So I think, and Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but one part of the analysis during the negotiation was the concern or consideration that those 175 resources were going to be available to provide the 2% COLA. So there had to be some type of drawing a line to ensure that the 175 resources that we got on an annual basis would be sufficient to fund
Right.
the 2% permanent COLA for
Right.
that other group. So that was kind of, they had to make a decision somewhere, and that was the offer from the collective bargaining unit at the time.
And we know that this is a liability on the current plan at some, right? So you're once you give something, you're taking from somewhere. And that's what I am trying to get at. What is being taken from? It's our current members. That's what's happening. In legal, you mentioned the fact that there's not a legal requirement. The actuary said this is something that could be considered by the state permanent, but we don't know the answer to that. But frankly, there's nothing right now that prevents the mayor from providing it, given if the resources are there yearly.
My recollection, and Chris, I would defer to you, there was interaction with the state and the actuary on that question?
Yes. In 2017 or 2018, our actuary was concerned, had discussions with a member of the State Division of Retirement.
Okay.
And that's where they discussed this idea that it's not that we pay it out, but because of GASB standards, post-employment benefits, we might have to recognize a COLA.
At some point, right.
Yeah.
Well, we've done it. There have been 7 ones, 1998, 2006, 2013, 17, and then 2 years in a row.
23 and 24. Yeah.
And what was the last time someone spoke to the actuary on this issue?
We talk about it every year.
You talk about it every year. Someone mentioned there was a report done. I don't think we've been provided with that report.
The actuarial?
Yeah, on this issue. But have they done it on this issue specifically?
No.
Because I don't think I received a report.
No, we have not asked for them to do a study or to look into it because we've been conscious of trying not to establish patterns.
Okay. Well, those are kind of the concerns I have. I mean, I want to be fair to everyone, and I just want to make sure we do the right thing. But it is concerning that this is something that can affect our current members at some point in time. So I'm happy to hear from others.
Councilmember Floyd.
Thank you. Do the current collective bargaining agreements that negotiate in the cost of living adjustments for retirees, are those retirees post-2008 members of the union? Why are they getting representation and not the ones from pre-2008?
Once you retire or leave the city, you are no longer represented by the union.
Okay.
And you don't have standing for collective bargaining.
Okay, so it just happened to be that we got that line drawn at 2008, and that's how we got into this situation. Okay. I think what I want to say is we can, move this forward today, pass it in a couple of weeks. I don't remember the date that it had on here. And we're going to call it permanent. But you know that the next time you go into bargaining, this is coming up. And so that's why right now, not a huge deal, I guess. I mean, it'll be that they get their COLA 1 or 2 times between now and bargaining. But you're ready to negotiate this, right? Like, there's no way that this isn't going to be a key part of the conversation next time it comes up.
I think I know where you're going now. No,
yeah.
This COLA for the non-represented group is not going to be bargained. We have no obligation to bargain what is given to that prior group.
Okay, well.
Going forward, what we can negotiate for the current group is always on the table. That has to be something where.
Obviously, but you're resetting the terms of the conversation, like the framework that the conversation's held within is going to include a world in which this exists.
Yep.
So it might not be that you want to talk about it, but it's going to be underlying the whole conversation.
Oh, yeah, agreed, 100%.
Yeah. So, I don't know what that looks like, but it's going to be. I just don't imagine that this will be the immediate end of this, even if we were all smiles and rainbows about it. This isn't going to be the end of it, yeah.
No, and certainly hope is not a strategy, but if we have a couple of banner years in the stock market and we end up being more than 100% funded again, then it's, flip a coin.
Exactly. There's really no need to mention that, yeah. But sure, we can all hope. The other thing I would add is, let's see if I can remember. I think we all would have just felt more comfortable if this just had happened during a CBA bargaining process. And then I keep having things pop in my mind and then lose them. I would love to get like real confirmation because of what Councilmember Hanowitz was mentioning, like the difference in what the agreements were for retirees pre-2008, post-2008, because I've been hearing that there are differences and you're saying there's not. I would love to see it written down, or I don't know why I'm hearing differently than what you're saying. There's no two CBAs the same, especially after 20-something years, yeah.
We didn't always negotiate pensions. So since that 2008 and prior, the same years of service requirements are there, the same look back of your highest 3 years of pay are what counts as your pension, what your monthly benefit will be. What has happened since the post-date, though, is I believe it was probably in 2015, 16, 17, somewhere around there, the current group did negotiate adding more overtime hours to their base pensionable amount. There were years that they were fully funded at 100%. In fact, it was higher than 100%. So they took the opportunity to negotiate that benefit for themselves. So that is different than what the 2008 group is getting, because they obviously are not working anymore. They can't put any overtime into their base.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it there right now for today. This is a first hearing, yeah, so it's very possible more comes up between now and the next time. I'm grateful for the one-on-one. You have more to add, I guess?
Yeah, Steve, do you have? Well, this is Steve Carnegie. He's our.
And just to answer Councilman Gertis's question, the total population of this group is, as a whole, the post 2008 group is 359, of which 110 are eligible right now. For example, who just received a COLA, with the October 31st pension payments. So obviously, this group will, obviously, as they get closer to 60 and they hit 60, that number will obviously increase. So.
I'm finished. Thank you, Chair.
Councilmember Driscoll.
Thank you. The hesitation that I have comes more from this state statute and what we might run up against more than anything else. I can see where an argument can be made to make it permanent if we're going to be required to fund it anyway. And I need to learn more about that and what the implications could be. Another hesitation is that no, I don't I don't think this would be the end. If we do this part, then I can imagine it's only a matter of time before some additional benefit or compensation is requested because of changes that have happened. So, so those not currently covered with the overtime contribution that's available will say, well, we never got that. So now we need to have something else added. And where does it stop? There is a reason why collective bargaining happens. And I think it's a good and healthy thing that there is the option for a discretionary COLA to be given. Even if we do it often enough where eventually we're required to fund it. It's a tough thing because I want people to have that. I want people to have what they deserve, and I want people who have served our city and served as first responders to be able to have a healthy pension and one that is fair. It's really unfortunate what happened in the past. I'm not sure that we can fix everything, and we do have to be careful about the precedent that this would set. And I'm not even worried so much about finding the money, because this is the type of thing that's worth it. That's why I'm okay with the discretionary that's given. But I'm not. I think the risks outweigh the rewards if we go down this path of making this permanent. I do want to spend some time learning a little bit more about this, so I would be okay with voting to. So when is the second reading?
21st.
On the 21st. So between now and then, I can learn a little bit more to have a more informed decision. But so therefore, I'd like to move it forward today, and we'll talk soon.
We will be glad, again, to meet with anyone, answer any questions we can, provide as much data as we can, and Jane can help out with the legal side of things.
Yeah, thank you. I'll just close by saying that if it was my dad who was asking for this, I would want him to have it because I know he would have deserved it. But there are other considerations that as city council members we have to take into account as we make these kinds of decisions. So it's not an easy one. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Vice Chair Gertis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just have one last question. Inside, holy moly, 3 committee meetings this morning. Our other pension programs, are they also split into groups? Like, has this happened in our other pension?
No, both of the other plans have COLAs that were implemented long ago and applied to everyone.
Okay, but there's no other split like pre-2008, post-2008 like there is, whether it's for a COLA or anything else?
No. So for example, for police, there are literally 3 plans. There's a 70 and 84 plan, supplemental plan, and then there's a police prior plan, and then you have the fire prior plan, and then you have the fire sub plan. That's where you have this group, this unique group. There isn't another group out there, another pension plan that has a subset. That is actually impacted in this way.
Okay.
They're treated one way.
And so this is the only group that really, so if we went and changed the ERS tomorrow, it would change for everybody. It wouldn't. See, that makes a difference. I think we should have led with that.
That would be up, if the union, the FPSU came.
They could have negotiated.
To negotiate a change.
Because they all have representation.
Yes.
Every single member. I think this conversation could have gone a little easier if we had had a little bit of that background, because for one subset of 158 not to have representation while every other participating member of pension programs in the city of St. Petersburg does, makes this a little different.
And they did.
I still don't like how it's going down, but it makes it a little different.
Yeah, and but they were, as we had discussed, they were fully represented.
Yeah, right. No, I know. That's part of the point I made. So, okay, I'm okay with moving this forward. I think, like everybody else, I'm not about to not support former or current firefighters. I think that's, I won't speak for everybody, but my guess is that's probably ringing true across this dais. But I still think I want to, like other members, I want to button a couple of things up. So I know some council members have other comments, but I'll move approval.
Second. Councilmember Hanowitz.
I just have one simple question. Why now?
I'm sorry.
Why now? Like we did it, we have this conversation every year with the actuary, right? And this 20, it seems like it's been every year, 23 and 24. So we've known this. I just want to know, why are we doing it right now? Why is it now?
Because it happens in January of 25, so kind of just backing into, this would be the normal timing that we would.
Right, but why didn't we have this discussion about making it permanent and you bring it to city council in 2024? Or in 20, I mean, we're 24, but 2023 and 2022, why now? Like, why the urgency now?
Well, the last 2 fiscal years, Mayor Welch made the decision to go forward with the ad hoc COLA. This year, we decided we wanted to have it be considered permanently, and this is the process through which we bring that through an ordinance change.
I'm trying, I mean, of all the times with hurricanes, with everything else, where all these things are happening, we're worried about the budget, and this is a complicated issue.
Maybe I can shed a little. Ever since 2010, when this was went into effect, that group of 155 has lobbied hard, lobbied council members, administration, and the union for this. And every year we've gone through this discretionary discussion. And to answer your question, we started this process for the permanent one, I want to say last spring, early February, March. So there wasn't the storm and all this these other considerations on the horizon. And I'll defer to administration, but I believe that it felt the time was right budgetarily to do something permanent.
Okay, and look, we all have had discussions about the storm and all the issues that are facing our city and how much it's going to cost us, and we're waiting for all these reports, and this is, something that could be discretionally done, at least for now, until we get more numbers. And well, I agree with everyone in terms of obviously being there for those who have served us, but I mean the timing couldn't be worse, and it really makes it even more difficult, along with everything else that we're dealing with. So I'm happy to move it forward, but I will tell you, it is concerning, and the doors that we're opening and what can happen in the future, I am concerned about that. And I am concerned about what can happen with collective bargaining and how this is not going to go away and this is not going to solve it. But I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Gabbard.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Is it possible, if we do move this forward today, to get a narrative around the collective bargaining that took place, that we have obviously questions about, like, what was the give and take? What did they get? What did they not get?
In 2008, 2009?
Yes. Is it
we will have
possible for you to
notes.
prepare
Absolutely.
that for us?
I did an analysis several years ago
Mm-hmm.
about the give and take, what was negotiated, what the high points were,
Yeah.
what the priorities were. So I can easily get that. We have all the records. In
Yeah.
fact, I've been here long enough, I was actually at the table.
Okay,
back
so you
then
have personal
as a staffer,
recollection.
yes.
Okay, yeah, I think that that would be helpful because, I mean, to all of my colleagues' point, I mean, nobody wants to sit up here and vote against giving firefighters that dedicated their lives to public safety in our city, not give them what they deserve, right? But at the same time, my concerns are, and I heard it kind of echoed, you know, over and over, what this does to future collective bargaining, knowing that that is coming up in the spring again, and then the door and the precedent that is opened by us doing this, and what those ramifications could be for all of our other collective bargaining units and everything else, right? So those are my two biggest concerns. And if I'm just, you know, voting based on heartstrings, I'm voting yes. But if I'm voting from a very practical standpoint as a council member responsible for the budget and responsible for decisions that are made that set precedent with unintended consequence, then unfortunately, I end up in a place where I have too much doubt and my answer has to be no. And so I'm really struggling with this. I'll vote to move it forward today, but I've got a lot of info I need between now and the 21st. So, thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. So, Chris, basically what I'm hearing is we all want to provide the equity that this is intended for, but what it sounds like to me is we're trying to fix an issue that's not ours. So when you say that we have firefighters that are not being represented, if we give them this annual COLA, they still won't be represented.
Correct.
But it will impact other. So I guess I'm just trying to figure, we will never be able to fix this because they would never be represented. How can you bring something back to us that would be more reputable where we're not setting a precedent in regards to something like this? Because the collective bargaining with the active firefighters that you're having that issue with, as all my colleagues have said, it's going to come up. And we're going to have to come up with the money. And when I heard about the actuary saying that we're going to be responsible for this, as Councilmember Gabbard said, it was, what, 94%, then it's at 112%, and then we can only see it going up, that we're going to be responsible for it. We find money for everything else. I've said that before. And so wanting to make sure that we take care of our firefighters, we need to do that. But again, I've always been huge on setting precedents and how we're doing this. So it seems like we're trying to fix a problem that we will never be able to fix because they would never be represented by the union.
Sounds like negotiations where nobody gets everything that they want. But your point is well taken, and
But that's not a good thing because because when we talk about the negotiation and we're talking about city dollars, you know, we want to take care of our own. But I am so on point with Councilmember Gabbard. When you look at the heartstrings, absolutely. But when you look at the budgetary responsibility that we have, you know, you have to kind of pull it together. So I think what I've heard is that council members will move this forward, but there is quite a bit of information that is needed to move it across the finish line. So with that, I'll close the comments, and I think we've already had a motion that had been seconded. So since we have a motion and it's been properly seconded for E2, can you please open the machine for voting? Council members, can you please tally your votes, cast your votes? Seeing that all present council members have voted, can you please tally and announce the vote?
Madam Chair, the motion to approve agenda item E2 passes unanimously with Councilmember Mohammed being absent.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Chris. You know you're going to have a lot of one-on-ones after this.
please contact me if you have individual questions. I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. Now we're going to move and take up our report items, beginning with F1, and joining us is our Chief of Police, Anthony Holloway. Hi, Chief.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, council members.
How are you?
I'm well. How about you folks? Well, this is going to be the annual report for July, August, and September. And I'm here to report to you for this quarter, crime is down by 4.8%, and the 5-year trend is down by 7.1%. The homicides you see for this quarter, there are 2. That's up by 30% compared to last year. This time last year we had 10. This quarter we have 13. The 2 homicides for this quarter, they were both done by knives. One was an argument and one was a domestic. I can tell you right now our detective division is doing an outstanding job. They still have closed out every homicide case as of this quarter with an arrest. Our grit team, again, we've had other agencies ask us about this team. As I told council before, this is where we have detectives go out to scenes where we can recover any type of evidence that we can use so we can stop any further gang violence, and it has reduced some of our violent crime. Our gun report keeps getting better, so I'm hoping that everybody continues to follow what we talk about. On a positive note for this quarter, we had 47 guns turned into us. We found 22 guns, 22 were found, so that's a total of 68 guns that we took off the street. For our crime reports here, I want to make sure I tell City Council, you're going to be seeing 2 numbers, and that's because the federal reporting system has changed. So I'm giving you UCR, Uniform Crime Reporting, and what that is based upon hierarchy. So the way it used to work, if someone broke into someone's house and when they're inside the house, they robbed the person and several other things, it went to the highest charge. Now under the new report writing system, Fiber is that every category. So if you break into someone's house, it'll be counted as a burglary. If you do a robbery, it'll be counted as that, so forth and so on. So every incident that happens now will be counted as one. So we're going to give you 2 numbers now. I'm going to give you the uniform report, and I'm also going to give you FIBIN reporting. And this is FIBIN reporting. Because I don't want you to see people start seeing crime isn't going up. It is not going up. We just want to compare oranges to oranges now. Another good example is if you had 6 car burglaries on A Street, the old reporting way would be 1 car burglary. Now under this new system, it will be 6 burglaries. That's the new federal way they're going to start reporting these crimes. Our arrests are still going down. So let me go back. So under the UCR, robberies are up 2%, but a 5-year trend, they're down by 10%. Auto thefts are down by 41%, 5-year trend 26%. Burglaries are down 32%, 5-year trend, they're down by 40%. And as you can see, the arrests match crime going down in our city. Traffic stop, the officers are still initiating traffic stops. Our second chance program, we're going to have to modify this a little bit because of the weather and the hurricane. What we're seeing is our kids are starting to fall behind, meaning that it used to be if a child committed a crime this week, by Saturday, they would be at Parks and Recs. Mike Jefferson's team have done a great job, but just with everything going on, you see where 9 kids have not been able to go to this program and they're waiting in a queue. So we've done a workaround now that we're going to actually start working with these kids so they're not having to wait that period of time, because we're going back to the old court system. I did this, and then 3 months later, now I'm just, so Chief Kavas and his team have come up with a better plan under our call program that we're going to be working with these kids so we can get them into a system right away, because we want to continue to address the problem before it becomes a major problem. Our home monitoring program, we're still doing excellent with that. Again, that's with all the agencies in Pinellas County working together. Our PATH unit, with our unhoused individuals, you can see all the contacts that are being made and the services that are being referred to the clients. Park Walk and Talk Council wanted that up. As you can see, the numbers are still up. Month of September, we're down a little bit, and we'll get those back up. But you can see all the areas where the officers are getting out of their vehicles and are walking around and talking to the people in the community. Eagle Eye program, we added 6 more people during this quarter. We're only up to 813. We're going to try to get out there, and we know people have these cameras, we're just trying to make sure we get them to go online. And there's some confusion today, and we keep reminding people, we just want to know you have the cameras. We don't have access to your cameras. That when a crime happens, then a detective can knock on your door, the officer can knock on your door and say, hey, did you videotape something that happened on your street? Our use of force, as you can see in the month of September, went up. And again, we're totally different. I only can speak for St. Petersburg Police Department. Our policy is when an officer points his taser, his or her taser at someone, that is considered use of force. So that is captured. If two officers are on the scene and they both point their tasers at someone, that's 2 incidents. So anytime the officers, even though they don't fire the taser, they point it at someone, that is a use of force, and that is reviewed by the chain of command. As you can see, our complaints, our call program is still very successful. We still have people calling us asking about it all the time. As you can see, last time we reported 95%, we're up to 96% of these navigators are going to these calls that are non-police related without police officers and working with people that the crisis that are going through. And the thing I want to highlight, the most people talked about it, there are 0 injuries. And again, we're having professionals help people out with their problem and not having a badge and gun at that scene. With that, I'll open up for any questions.
Councilmember Driscoll.
Thank you, and thank you, Chief, for the report. A lot of these numbers are looking good. Wanted to just make a general suggestion about the Park Walk and Talk as that gears back up and you get back up to the previous numbers. That just want to make sure that all neighborhoods are being covered so that every neighborhood feels like they are being seen and recognized and included. I think just from looking at the map.
And sometimes we're trying, and I said earlier, we try to make the map as best as possible, because an officer, he or she could get out at 15 and 16 and they could walk that whole block and then walk another block. Well, they're only going to show what they initially called out. So they could have walked quite a long ways, but again, it's only going to show where they initially stopped. So we're trying to figure out how we can capture that. An officer, maybe he or she walked 3 streets during that period of time.
Yes, no, yeah, I understand that. But seeing that so the map that you have here is for that 3 month, all 3 months?
Yes, ma'am.
So if I look at this map, it tells me that there were 0 PWTs that were conducted in Coquina Key. And I have a hard time believing that someone parked their vehicle at Grandview Park and walked over the bridge and into and around the neighborhood, because it's a pretty big place. So I wonder, I'm thinking it's got to be a mistake, but that's just one example that I want to point out. I think it's we're taking a look.
And you're probably right. The officer, he or she could have probably just forgot to call it out, and they were there.
Yeah.
So we just have to make sure that they're documented better.
Yeah, we want to be able to see and recognize the good work that they're doing. With the call team, I see the most frequent zip codes, the most frequent calls that I get that could be call team related if the resident would call the police department is when we have folks who are unhoused, who are sleeping in parks, sleeping, along the waterfront. We're seeing large amounts of personal items. It seems like it gets better and then it gets worse again. And I want to tell you, Sergeant Hancock has been fantastic, and his team with addressing things when I bring it up. But I do wonder, as often as I am in some areas, why it's so prevalent, and how could PD not be seeing what I'm seeing out there. I know that having the PATH unit or the call team or both available in the evening hours is really, really helpful. That's when you see a lot of this, and these are folks who need to be helped, or issues that need to be addressed.
I will follow up on that, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. I'd be happy to talk with you offline about that, to give some more detail, whatever you need to help your team do better. That's all I have right now. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Councilmember Floyd.
Thank you. Thank you for the update. I just wondered if you could talk about guns and cars briefly. I mean, it seems like it comes up every time. I'm assuming we're still having those issues, but it seemed like, based off of your map, like maybe things were going down a little bit.
They are continuing to trend down, but again, if you look at that number, that's still too many. Let me make sure I have.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Exact. So there were 25 guns taken out of cars this past quarter. I mean, remember, we used to be up in the 50s.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It feels like it's going down. Yeah.
We just have to keep telling that message. Please remember to take your guns out of your car. You know, you have a right to carry a gun, but be a responsible gun owner. Take it out, and we just keep putting that message out there over and over again. And hopefully, people are paying attention. It seems like they are.
Yeah.
I would like to see that number get to 0, but I like to see it get under 10. I know we're never going to get perfect, but 10 will be fine.
Yeah. Obviously, we're not gonna ever live in like a perfect world. We'll strive to, but. I am glad to see it going down, and that was the impression I was getting, so I just wanted to make that explicit. So thanks for the info. That was all I had. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chief, I do have one quick question in regards to the Eagle Eye program. I know the officers, they go and they ask neighbors if they have the ring footage. Do we actually provide information to a resident that has the footage that may not be a part of the Eagle Eye program? Do we provide them with a flyer, a card, just saying, you know, would you consider registering your camera with the Eagle Eye program just in case? Because if you've gone there once, it may be a possibility that you're going to go and request information twice, but they haven't been registered.
Yes, ma'am. We have it on our Facebook page. We have pamphlets that we pass out, and also anytime we have an event, we also try to remind people to sign up for this program. And again, thank you for highlighting that. It's really just to let us know when something happens that we can go to this home, and that home, and maybe they capture something that's going to help us close out these cases.
Okay. But do the officers give something to the homeowner when they
Yes, ma'am.
ask? Okay. Okay, that's all I had. That was my question. Seeing no further requests to speak. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, ma'am.
Appreciate it. So now we're going to move on to F2, and I'm going to let the introduction be done by our own Councilmember Hanwitz.
Thank you, Chair. And I am so excited for this presentation. I have to say this was supposed to happen back on October 10th. And because the meeting was canceled and it seems like all of October is a blur, here we are, November 7th. It turns out that this presentation is happening at the same time as a resolution afterwards. And before I introduce Bridge, I want to let everyone know I will be. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We have lost a quorum. We lost quorum. Yep.
Who left?
We have to stop a second.
Okay. I didn't even know he left.
It'll be a long 2 months.
Health flare-up.
There we go.
Sorry.
That's all right. And I'm going to make it even more complicated because at some point I want everyone to know I would want to be participating more in this, but at some point I'm going to have to recuse myself once we vote because in an abundance of caution, and to avoid the appearance of a conflict of interest, I'm a volunteer board member with the Shirley Proctor Puller Foundation. I'll say it again at the next item. I can stay here. I've checked with legal. I can stay through the presentation. So once I leave, y'all can't leave because then you can't have quorum. But anyhow, I'm so happy to have Bridget Heller here with us. She is the co-founder and volunteer CEO of the Shirley Proctor Puller Foundation. It's been my joy to be part of this organization. I see fellow board members and the team all here, and Bridget's going to introduce everyone. And without further ado, Bridget.
Good afternoon. As Lisette said, I'm Bridget Heller, and I'm the volunteer CEO for the Shirley Proctor Puller Foundation. I do want to take a moment to just recognize all the board members and staff that have joined me here today by asking them to just stand so that you can see who they are, and then we will move on. Thank you. I believe you all received the presentation, so I will not do you the disservice of reading it to you. Instead, I will focus on a few slides that I believe are critical to give you a good sense of who we are, who we serve, our progress, and why we believe we're a good place to invest city dollars. So with that in mind, this slide just basically goes through the mission and vision, and I'll say simply that SPPF builds literacy to drive workforce readiness for our scholars, who certainly deserve fulfilling careers with significant earning power. And here, what I've really recapped for you is the need to address the achievement gap closure in Pinellas County, but especially in South St. Pete. It's been longstanding, it's well documented, and you can see, unfortunately, there's been very little progress over the last decade, despite lawsuits, monitoring agencies being established, and the Bridging the Gap plan. SPPF is striving for change by working within the community and working directly with families. We listen and work to earn the trust of our families every single day. We serve 83% of the scholars we serve come from the 3 zip codes that primarily constitute South St. Petersburg. We pick up scholars from 20 different community schools, with transformation zone schools representing the largest source of our scholars. You can see that our heritage is really within the K through 5 grades, but we're building a solid presence with older students as well. And our families are clearly striving and often need help making ends meet. So our oldest program and our sort of flagship is the SPPF Master Kids program, and it has a focus on K through 8th graders. It is definitely a different program versus other out-of-school time programs that you see in the community. It's different in many ways, one of which is that we work closely with the school system the existing community schools, to deliver our services and to deliver our gains. We also utilize certified teachers and experienced assistants in our classroom, which really means that they're trained in the science of reading often, so that helps us to achieve the outcomes that we set out to achieve. It helps us to deliver very personalized instruction, so that gives us a chance to really address children on an individual basis, addressing very specific gaps that we have assessed to be there. And finally, we use evidence-based curriculum in all we do, and the predominance of our teachers are teachers of color, because the research makes it very clear that that is important when you're dealing with children of color. We also leverage engaged partnerships, and I want to take a minute to talk about this, because this is really critical in enabling us to broaden our coverage of these students and deal with the whole child as opposed to just the academic pieces. And as a result, examples of that, I point you to the mental health program that we work with Dr. Keturah Hall and her colleagues at the GRACE Alliance, or the Greater Reach Alliance. to put on, where we have actually professionals that are mental health professionals that are on site and working with our students 4 out of 5 days a week. And that really has helped. We also leverage Clayton Sizemore, and he has done work in mindfulness, which is helping our students to connect their behavior and their actions with their feelings. And that also has helped our children greatly. When we look at the results, I will say to you that we've been doing this work for nearly 10 years, consistently learning and improving the model, and we can say it works. We use iReady assessments to measure our performance. We have closed the achievement gap for our scholars over the last 2 consecutive years. In looking at the data here, you can see this is iReady reading data. And last year, we went from 27% of our students reading at grade level when they entered the program in September to 70% of our students reading at grade level 12 months later in July, at the end of July. And that has been consistent in terms of our development with students. Over the last 2 years, we've had that type of gap closure, as you can see. When we look at our newest program, it is what we call the HSMP program, which is the High School Master Plan program. It was started in 2003, and this program is targeted to 6th through 10th graders, helping them to transition through middle school with a target of helping to improve graduation rates. We strive to develop independent learners by providing the students with the self-awareness, the life skills, and the tools that they need to navigate that transition. And similar to our work in the other program, we leverage our partners extensively to build our capability and, again, address that whole child need. We look at, if you look at some of the partners on the board, we work with the Woodson to deliver that self-esteem piece. As you may know, they deliver Freedom School education in terms of Black history education. And so the children have been involved in that. We worked with Toastmasters curriculum, for example, and the kids have been able to develop their own Toastmasters club. And we've worked with Pinellas Technical College as the lead partner in our career training. When we look at this program, I can honestly say we're really excited about the early results. It's very, very promising. Last year, our scholars boasted an average GPA of 3.4. The students, again, launched their own Toastmasters youth program, and they had career exposure through a number of different sources, including the police department. I don't think the chief is here anymore, but we work a lot with the police department in terms of career exposure. Moving on, one of the things that makes this team work really, really well as we pursue this work is that we have an executive team that is a critical enabler. We have deep, deep training in education and in business. And so that really gives us skills that stand apart and stand above many of our counterparts in the out-of-school time space. Finally, we also talk about the fact that we have an obsession, if you will, with evidence-based curriculum because that curriculum works to deliver outcomes. And something that I learned early in my career and I practiced throughout my career was to inspect what I expect. And therefore, I need to constantly learn, evolve, and improve as a key to our accountability. Looking at how we deliver the work, again, I've told you that we use a broad range of partners. This broad range of partners is, again, critical because it allows us to really address a broader group of family needs and needs of our students. We have 3 categories of partners as we think about them. We use the space that comes to us from Pinellas County Schools at times, as well as our anchor program is from Friendship Missionary Baptist Church. We use the space there. We also use service partners like the Woodson or Pinellas Technical College or Eckerd College. Those kinds of folks are what we consider to be service partners. And then finally, we have an information sharing strategy where we use partners like the grade level reading campaign, Phyllis Wheatley, LEAP. Those are all partners that we work with from an information sharing standpoint. Our parents love us, and they consider us to be part of their education team, and that is really critical and important for us. And again, you can read what they say. We often partner with them in very special ways. And then as I get to the final few charts, I think it's important for this group to recognize that we are funded by large literacy investors, as well as the fact that we have, again, a broad range or broadly based funding group. We have large funders like JWB and the United Way, which require a high level of spending and performance oversight. We're also recognized as careful stewards by rating agencies. You can see that SPPF is recognized for strong and careful financial stewardship. As you can see that 85% of our funds go to direct services, well above the 70 to 75% target that most of the review agencies have. And finally, I'll end by saying we're excited to be on the verge of expanding the number of students that we can serve in partnership with Pinellas County Schools and with the City of St. Pete. We hope the council will consider supporting the proposed city budget, which includes $250,000 for this effort, which represents about the 1/3 of our site costs on an annual basis. We've already begun to secure additional commitments to ensure that we can open this January and that we'll be ready to fund throughout the year. With that, I will open for questions. Thank you very much for your attention and your support.
Councilmember Hanway.
And I just want to say thank you, Bridget, so much for coming and joining us. I'm sorry that I can't participate more. I could have talked about Bridget for a long time, but if anyone has the time to get to know Bridget, please do, and get to know the team.